Hello and welcome to the Great Yorkshire Showground in Harrogate, where this week over 140,000 visitors will be experiencing the sights, the sounds and the smells of one of the biggest and best agricultural events in the UK.
Absolutely right. Packed into this 250-acre site, there are literally thousands of animals, hundreds of craft stalls, there are country pursuits, incredible tasting food, and a couple of famous faces thrown in for good measure too. It really is an experience that can't be rivaled. And I'm very happy to say that over the next 2 days, we are right here to bring you the very best of the action.
Now, talking of famous faces, on today's programme, Emmerdale favourite Dominic Brunt will be donning his flat cap and grabbing a shepherd's crook as he tries his hand at the traditional countryside pursuit of sheepdog handling.
We'll find out how Orchid, the Shire horse from Cannon Hall Farm, fares when she takes part in the mother and foal competition with the incredibly cute 3-month-old Rosie by her side.
We will indeed. And MasterChef winner Eddie Scott will be here cooking us up a treat or two. Welcome to today at the Great Yorkshire Show. Well, we are beyond thrilled once again to be joining all of our friends here in North Yorkshire for what is certainly one of my favourite dates in the agricultural calendar. But Ranveer, I can't believe this is actually your first time here, isn't it?
I know. I can't believe I've been missing out on all of this for all these years. But, you know, I do love the countryside. There's nothing better than the countryside for the soul. And I do quite like a farm shop.
Who doesn't?
It won't surprise you to know. So it's absolutely fantastic to see all the farmers and their families at a country show like this. It's just wonderful to see. And not only that, there are some real VIPs here today, too. Her Royal Highness Princess Anne has been at the show in her official capacity as a patron of the Beef Shorthorn Cattle Society, which is proudly celebrating its bicentenary this year. And it's actually a breed that we're going to be finding out a lot more about in tomorrow night's programme with Yorkshire vet legend Peter Wright.
Legend indeed, and the breed is pretty impressive too. Now, of course, when the Great Yorkshire Show first took place here back in 1838, its primary objective was to showcase livestock like the Shorthorn. Wind the clock forward 184 years, and there are now hundreds of breeds of animals here in attendance. But incredibly, there is one animal that's never featured at the show until this year, and that is sheepdogs.
Isn't that hard to believe? But you're absolutely right, and it's going to be a fascinating watch. But of course, we didn't just want to stand on the sidelines. We wanted to get involved, so we sent Emmerdale vet Dominic Brunt to learn the ropes.
Actor Dominic Brunt has been playing Emmerdale's lovable village vet Paddy Kirk for over 25 years now. And just like his character, Dominic will never tire of his glorious Yorkshire surroundings.
So I was born in Cheshire and was brought up in Accrington in Lancashire, but I've lived in Yorkshire now for 25 years, and I'm just very, very, very lucky. You just can't beat Yorkshire for the countryside. The beauty is just everywhere. I mean, look at this, beautiful, stunning.
Today, Dominic's swapping Paddy's stethoscope for a shepherd's crook and trying his hand at the ancient art of sheepdog handling.
So sheepdog training, I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit nervous. So what if the dog ignores me and we lose all the sheep? And I'm frightened that I'm going to make a fool of myself in front of thousands of people at the Great Yorkshire Show. So I'm really looking forward to it, but I'm really super nervous that I'm going to be rubbish. Or I'm going to be amazing.
Don't worry, Dominic, because showing you the ropes today is one of the best in the business. Welsh wonder Erin McNaught. At just 18 years old, Erin already has some pretty impressive credentials. She was born in Bala, the town where the first ever sheepdog trial was held, and she won the prestigious One Man and His Dog title at the age of just 16. But has she got what it takes to teach Dominic everything he needs to know about sheepdog handling in just one afternoon?
Hiya.
Hello, lovely to meet you.
You too. I'm Dominic.
Hi.
All right. So, I have to admit, I'm a bit nervous about all this.
Oh, don't be, you'll be fine.
Okay. So when did you get into training sheepdogs?
So I'm now the fourth generation on both sides of my family to be working sheepdogs, so it's something that's definitely in the blood. And I've been surrounded by dogs since I was a young girl, and it's something I've always known that I wanted to do.
So what makes a good sheepdog handler?
Well, you need to have the patience to begin with. It takes years to train a dog, so definitely patience is key.
So if we're honest, who'll be doing all the work? Will it be me or the dog?
Well, it's a bit of a partnership, really. the dog does the work, but you need to be there to command and to guide the dog. So you need to be the brains and the dog needs to work. So that's how it's like, it's a partnership.
Yeah, I feel very much a fish out of water at the moment, so I'm hoping you'll look after me.
Fear not, Dominic, you're in the best possible hands. So it's time to jump in at the deep end. Or should that be the sheep end?
What's first?
So first, you need to learn the 3 basic commands. Okay, so you've got come by to go clockwise, then you've got away to go to your right,
Yeah.
and then you've got stand there to ask the dog to stop.
Right.
So those are the 3 commands you need. So as you can see now, the dog's bringing the sheep down to us nicely. Away,
Oh, amazing.
come
yeah.
by, so you can see the sheep now are responding and are
Yeah.
moving. Get up there. It's important when the dog's doing well and he's listening properly, you need to, you know, praise him and
Yeah.
show him that he's doing well, because that just builds the confidence up.
And so you don't seem to be shouting at the dog. Do you need to be strict?
You need to be strict, because obviously you need to be able to control the dog and he needs to know that you're in control, you're the boss. But also you need to be very careful with your voice. If you're singing nearly, come by, come by, come by, come by.
So if you kept saying that, it just keep
Yeah,
walking.
he'd just continue going round and then stand there to stop and then away, 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 away. So the
It's
first,
immediate as well. As soon as you
Yeah.
say it, you just react. So it takes 2 years to train a dog, and you've got 2 or 3 hours to train me.
yeah, it's going to be a challenge.
I can barely remember the 3 words. Come by is clockwise, away is anti-clockwise, and then sit. That's not right, is it?
Well, 2 out of 3 is not bad. And now the time has come for Dominic to put his training to the test.
Come by. Come by. Away. Away. It's not going very well, but I want it to go well, and I'm going to keep going. I think the dog sees me as weak in the team.
Don't be downhearted, Dominic. Practice makes perfect. And remember, every dog has its day.
Right, go for it.
Away. Away.
Here we are. And do you remember your command to stop? So
Stop.
he needs to stop at 12 o'clock, if you think of a clock.
Yes.
You shout, stand there.
Stand there.
Here we are.
Away.
There we are.
Yes.
That's the one. That's the one.
There. Away. Stand there. Okay, Erin. Let's get him in.
Yeah.
Come by. Come by. Away. Away.
With one man and his dog working together in perfect harmony, the sheep are successfully herded into the pen, much to Dominic's obvious relief.
Job done. Good boy, Theo. I think it went okay. I need some more practice, which I'm going to do now, but I'm really super looking forward to it. I really am.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, Jules, we're going to find out because Dominic and Erin will be joining us here at the showground, and Dominic will be putting his training session into practice in the arena behind us.
I have to be honest, rather him than me. Now then, on the subject of sheep, we'll be meeting these cuties, a rare breed from the Orkneys with a very strange eating habit. Our old mate Adam Henson will be along to tell us more. We'll also find out how Orchid the Shire horse from Cannon Hall Farm gets on in the mother and foal competition. And a master chef winner, no less, will be getting busy in the kitchen.
Can't wait to get tasting, Jules. And if that wasn't enough, it is indeed Jules versus Julian, as Jules here takes on Yorkshire vet Julian Norton in a very heated head-to-head competition.
Do you know, it's making me sweat just thinking about it because it's warm out here. It's going to be hotter in there.
It certainly is. Join us in a few minutes for more from today at the Great Yorkshire Show.
Welcome back to today at the Great Yorkshire Show. I am stood just outside the main arena with a slightly nervous-looking Dominic Brunt and sheepdog trainer and mentor Erin McNaught. You've been putting Dominic through his paces. How are you feeling?
Quite nervous. I suppose it's all the fact that it's real now and there's a huge crowd over there has made me feel slightly sick. I'm glad I've got the stick to steady myself.
Well, you lit the part.
I know!
Yeah. Now, we saw earlier how you were getting on. How did it go?
Well, he weren't too bad. You picked up the commands very quickly. But it's just getting Theo used to you, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's the main part.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen you on Emmerdale, I mean, another great Yorkshire show, let's be honest, playing Paddy, the vet, for 25 years or so. Over those years, have you learnt a lot of veterinary science, do you think?
No.
That wasn't the answer I was hoping for, to be honest. But you're no stranger to dogs, are you?
No, I've got 3 dogs. Peggy, Mabel, Betsy, but they won't even sit down for a biscuit. They're terrible dogs. I love them, though.
Yeah, well, of course you do, of course you do. But I guess interesting for you to see a dog like Theo who's so responsive.
But like that, it's like lightning. You barely get the word out, and the dog just reacts. It's incredible. Highly trained dog, you know. It knows more than me. Far more intelligent.
Well, you've had an absolutely brilliant mentor in Erin. How are the nerves at the moment?
They're all right. They're okay. I'm glad Erin's going to be at the side of me, and part of me thinks I hope it really goes well, and I hope I can do it. But then, if it doesn't go well, then it's quite entertaining, isn't it? I don't know. I really want to do well. I don't want to disgrace myself, but I want to show that I was listening and I learned something.
The best tip is just to keep calm, because the dog can sense your nerves. Even if it goes wrong, just keep calm.
We're all rooting for you, mate.
Thank you.
Even the sheep behind you that are looking on who you're about to round up.
Oh, like that one for a start.
Well, listen, you 3 go and get yourselves ready. While you do, we're going to catch up with Ranveer, who is cooking up something rather special. I have to confess, mate, I'm slightly jealous.
Thanks, Jules. Food and drink, of course, play a huge role every year here at the Great Yorkshire Show, as well as having over 1,000 stalls showing off everything from mushrooms to marshmallows. There are also daily cookery displays run by guest chefs, and I have really landed on my feet here because I'm joined by the winner of this year's MasterChef, Eddie Scott. Already hard at work, Eddie.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Life completely turned around since the win.
Amazing, yeah. It's just been a whirlwind. I've always wanted to cook, and now I've got the opportunity to do that.
And a complete turn from what your career was beforehand.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I was a humber pilot. I was used to working on ships for years since I was 18, but now it's all about food for me, and starting a new career in something that I really love to do. Today I'm making a stuffed naan. It's called a culture naan, and I've stuffed it with blue cheese, with coriander and green chilli, just blended together. Really nice naan dough, and we've stuffed the blue cheese inside the naan. You see it in here. It's all about using local ingredients, what grows around us. We've got some really good local beetroots. That's a nice beetroot pickle there. Wonderful fiery dish with green chilli, some wonderful spices,
I love that.
mustard seeds and cumin.
What's going on? Hang on a minute. What voodoo is this? What are you doing?
So we're replicating the tandoor oven. We're cooking the naan on the base, really hot, maximum heat. Now we're giving it some colour.
That is so clever. No wonder Gordon Ramsay was impressed with you. I bet you were sweating then, weren't you, on the show?
Oh, that was a fantastic experience. Unbelievable. Cooking with one of my heroes as well. It doesn't get any better than cooking with Gordon, for sure.
It really doesn't. Now, have you cooked a lot for your family over the years? Like, did it come from a passion from, like, cooking for your family?
I grew up in a family of great foodies. My grandparents from Punjab, they taught me how to cook with spices.
There we go. Hang on.
There we go. It's released. It's cooked. That is beautiful. Fantastic naan.
Look at
Let's
the
get that
colour
on the table.
there. So what do we need on
And then
this now?
We're just going to get some butter on there.
Lovely.
Some butter. Smells delicious, doesn't it?
And what's on this here? Because I can see the beetroot underneath. Can I give it a little stir to see what's all this on
There's
top?
A spoon there. We've got a really nice. We've done a pickled fennel.
Yeah.
Pickled fennel and kohlrabi, with some coriander, cumin. Let's put some nigella seeds on there. And there's the naan. Let's put it on the.
I can't wait any longer. I'm going to have to taste a bit.
Dip it into the chutney and enjoy.
OK. Now, I'm one of those people who loves cheese but not blue cheese, so am I going to like it?
Hopefully. Hopefully it's a little bit different.
Oh, my goodness. That is unbelievably good. That is sensational. Thank you so much, Eddie.
Thank you. Glad you enjoyed it.
Honestly, one of the best naans I've ever tasted. That is absolutely delightful. Now, whilst I help finish this off with Eddie, let's go back to Jules, who's over at the main arena.
Thank you, Ranveer. Well, I'm stood outside the main arena where Erin McNaught, sheepdog handler extraordinaire, and Emmerdale's Dominic Brunt have been in there trialling with Theo. But before we meet them, let's see how it went.
It's the moment of truth. Let's give a big welcome to Dominic and to Erin. The judge is watching closely. I was going to call him Paddy, but this is Dominic, of course. So, Dominic, the judge is watching to make sure you do it right. Today, Dominic has swapped Paddy's stethoscope for a shepherd's crook, and he's trying his hand at the ancient art of sheepdog handling.
Come on!
Just a little excitable at the top end, but the dog's away.
Aye!
On the outrun. He expects to get out behind the sheep.
Stand there!
He's crossed the course. He should have actually come in behind from the other side, but it's okay at the moment. That's the lift now. The dog
Away!
trying to take control of the sheep.
Stand there!
Now he's on the fetch.
Come on!
Trying to get the dog
Come on!
to bring the sheep in as straight a line as possible down towards the handler. Is he going to make it through the fetch gates? This is the big question. Whoops!
Get up!
A close shave, maybe. Maybe a close shave. I think he would have probably dropped 1 or 2 marks there, but he's doing okay. This is nice now. The dog's got a nice pace with the sheep.
Away! 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 Away!
Standing.
Stand it! Away! Away!
So, can he bring the sheep round the back of the handler?
Standing.
Come on!
Do it.
Come on!
So, standing
Come
right
on.
now. And the dog comes
Come on.
round. Oh dear, we're just losing points, I'm afraid. They've gone past the entrance. Oh dear, a bit quicker, a bit quicker.
Standing. Awi. 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 Get up there. Shh. Awi. Awi. Standing. Come back. Standing. Standing. Come back. Standing.
Make sure the entrance is clear. This is looking good.
Away!
Come on, Dominic. Don't lose your cool now. The dog just needs to put a little bit of pressure on these sheep. At the moment, they're being a little bit defiant. We've no idea how much they're urging him on up here. We desperately want him to get the sheep in the pen. I think Theo's maybe just got a bit far ahead of him. Yes, they've done it! Come on, a big hand then for Dominic Rance. It's not easy, I tell you. So well done, and many thanks indeed to Erin and of course to Theo.
That'll do.
All sheep safely penned. The judge is very impressed at the first attempt there from Dominic. We'll be expecting to see you next year in the sheepdog trial.
Well, here we are going from the fictional world of Emmerdale to the reality of trialling out there in the main arena at the Great Yorkshire Show. Dominic, how did it go for you?
I thought I did really poorly. But it was good fun. It was all right.
I think he's being a bit harsh there, isn't he, Eric? Come on, what do you reckon?
No, it went a lot better than I thought it would, so yeah.
It could have been an unmitigated disaster, but it was just a little... I mean, thank you for pulling me out of the dirt.
No, but we got them in the pen.
We got them in the pen?
That was the main thing.
You got him in the pen, and in fairness, I did hear the judge and commentator say the sheep were being a little bit defiant. You know, and they were a bit, weren't they? There was a bit of a face-off going off between Theo and the sheep there at the end. But you got there.
Yeah, is there a difference between sheep?
Yeah, you can get wild sheep, you can get stubborn sheep, so yeah, just pot luck what you get at the day.
So they were difficult sheep?
Yeah, they would be, yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
Sheep.
But it was great to have the crowd behind you.
I loved it. I loved it. What an experience. What an incredible experience.
And how were the nerves?
I was really nervous. I'm still nervous now. That's why I'm gripping hold of this.
Is it something that you think you continue with?
Oh, absolutely not.
But we were all rooting for you, as indeed was your co-star from Emmerdale, Dean Andrews. Dean, good to see you, mate, a.k.a. Will Taylor. How do you think he got on, then?
I thought he did amazingly well. It's a very nerve-wracking experience, I'd imagine, in that big arena, doing something that's out of your comfort zone. But, you know, that might be his new career, because he's a vet.
I knew something like that was coming, absolutely. Now, of course, your dulcet tones echo around our Great Yorkshire life. I mean, is this something that you think you'd fancy having a go at?
Absolutely not, no. It looks way too difficult for me. But yeah, our Great Yorkshire Life's a wonderful programme, and it's always a pleasure to narrate it. Get some great characters on there, and it's a real pleasure. It's a bit like the Yorkshire Show. It's just one of those things that oozes Yorkshire.
Are you sure you don't fancy this?
No chance, mate. Sun's out. I'm out to top up the freckles. You get in the water.
Will do for me.
Sun's out, guns out.
Sit on your back of the boat as you...
Ooh, look at that.
I'll launch you in.
Yeah.
All right, Dean. Welcome to the River Don.
Oh, it's sheckier than I thought it would be. It's unmissable, nearly.
It is unmissable, and it should be unmissable. It's on just before we are tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Well done, mate. Thanks for taking part. You've been an absolutely brilliant sport. You're probably dying for a drink, and if you are, Ranveer is in the food hall where there are plenty of things on offer. Ranveer.
Thanks, Jules. Yeah, there are so many amazing types of food and drink to try here, many of which are, of course, what you'd expect, the traditional country fare, like pork pies and cheese. But there is also a lot of new stuff here that you would love to sample. And with the increased popularity of plant-based food, I'm a vegetarian, I love all that sort of stuff. One thing that I'm really keen to know more about are these little fellas here. They're fava beans, and they're grown right here in Yorkshire by the Honest Bean Company, which is owned by Adam Palmer. Hello.
Hello.
Now, how did you come upon these? Because I don't think many viewers will necessarily have tasted them, eaten them, or known they've had them.
No, not many people know about them at all, really. We've always grown them here in the UK, and as a farmer, I always like to look for sort of products that we can maybe do a little bit more with. Fava beans have actually been around since the Iron Age. They were a staple protein source in our diets until the agricultural revolution happened, and then they were kind of stigmatised as a food for the poor.
So tell me how you use it and why it's good for it.
So we do lots of different things. The reason I started looking at it was actually to use as a base in a hummus rather than a chickpea. So you can use it as a protein source in that. We roast them and make snacks with them. You can then do lots of other different things. So we've brought a few examples. So you can make it into flour, which is obviously like gluten-free.
Yes.
We've then used that to make pastries for the tarts. We've made crackers from that. We've also
I try
made...
a bit of
You
this?
can, please help yourself.
Oh, that's lovely.
Delicious,
I
aren't
love
they?
a cracker. Can I try a bit of something sweet then as
Shall
well?
I just take you a little bit of
Because
that
again, you
off?
wouldn't expect beans to be
No,
in
you
a
wouldn't. So these
cookie.
are just actually using some of our roasted fava bean snacks just within there, just to give another example of how you can use them.
That's lovely.
They're lovely. Just give a nice bit of crunch to the cookie.
Adam, thank you so much.
You're
That is
welcome.
lovely. Very, very interesting stuff. Now, I'm not meant to talk with my mouth full, but I'm going to have to. If I remember correctly, Hannibal Lecter said that he likes fava beans and a glass of Chianti. And here at the Great Yorkshire Show, there are plenty of alcoholic tipples that you could try if you wanted. And as I walked through the food and drink hall, my eye was drawn to this particular gentleman. Hello.
Hello, hi.
Peter. Now, why are you dressed like this?
I'm a Viking reenactor.
Which means?
It means I dress up as a Viking.
And it's your passion for Vikings that has brought you to this business idea?
Yes, that's right, yeah. So mead is the traditional Viking drink, and drinking around campfires sort of led me to making my own as a hobby, which then has evolved into a business.
What is it? Is it a wine, a beer?
So it's classed as a made wine. It's wine made from something other than grapes. So,
Which is?
Honey, all made with 100% Yorkshire wildflower spring honey.
Yorkshire bees?
Yorkshire bees.
Now, I'm going to try a bit.
Oh, yeah.
How alcoholic is it?
17%, so reasonably strong.
Oh, my word. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
That just tastes delicious. It's honey. It just basically tastes like honey.
Or alcoholic honey, that's all it is.
You sold it to me. Thank you, both of you. Join us back here in a few minutes when we return with more today at the Great Yorkshire Show. Cheers. Welcome back to today at the Great Yorkshire Show, where this week over 1,600 animal class competitions will take place, culminating in 427 championships being crowned. Now, everything from Shire horses to shorthorn cattle will be coming under the judges' scrutiny. Tomorrow, we'll be paying particular attention to cattle and pigs. But today, as you can see, it is the turn of these little cuties. The Great Yorkshire Show is an important date in the diary for hundreds of farmers and livestock owners all over the country. And that includes champion goat breeders Colin and Paul from County Durham.
I've been going to the Yorkshire Show since 1982, so that's 4 decades. It's a magical show. The atmosphere is different. It's the one we all want to win.
But for these two, there's another reason that the annual event has a special place in their hearts.
For us, the Yorkshire Show is where we actually got together, Colin and I, which will be
quite a number of years ago
1996.
now. 1996, good grief.
And we've been together ever since.
Colin and Paul specialise in raising Saanen goats, a breed known for high milk production. And they're so successful that their animals have been sold all over Europe and beyond, with some of them finding themselves as far afield as the Caribbean. But it's all eyes on Harrogate today, and Colin's hoping that one particular lady is going to steal the show this year.
This is Persona. She's a British Saanen milker. She's 3 years old and she's kidded twice. Sweetheart.
Colin believes Persona could be his ticket to victory, but he knows she's going to need more than just a pretty face to win a coveted red rosette.
So it's not just a beauty competition. The judge knows the milk weight, so they know that the goat's given 4 litres of milk on the morning, so she would stand the best chance of winning. Whereas a goat that's equal is pretty but only does 2 kilos of milk, you would go for the one doing 4, because it's a more productive animal. She was second last year at the Great Yorkshire Show in the class. Quite happy with that because she didn't milk as much. But now she's milking more, and we hope for a first, but you only hope, you don't expect.
But if Colin is going to land the top spot this year, he's got some pretty stiff opposition to beat. One of his biggest rivals on the day is none other than Paul. And his partner for over 25 years isn't here to make up the numbers, he's in it to win it.
This is Maya. She's my hopeful for the Yorkshire Show. She's a first kidder, stands well on her feet. She's got a nice top line, gentle slope to the tail, which is what we're looking for. She's very, very friendly. Hopefully Maya and myself can beat Colin, see what we can do.
Colin and Paul have an impressive track record at the Great Yorkshire Show, with 10 championship titles over the last 20 years. And both of the boys are more determined than ever that their goat will land the top spot this year, and with good reason. After recent health scares, 2022 will be their last year competing against each other before they say goodbye to their goats and move on to pastures new.
Since Colin had his heart attack, it's really brought things into perspective for both Colin and myself. It was really emotional time for the pair of us. I didn't know whether I was going to lose him. We've been together quite some time now, and the goats have always been there. I don't know what's going to happen. There'll be a few tears, I think, when the goats go.
So the big question is, who will win the battle of the goats? Will it be Colin and Persona, or will Paul and Maya pip them at the post? Either way, we'll find out very shortly, but it could make for a fairly awkward drive home. Now then, one man who knows a thing or two about farming, it's Adam Henson. Good to see you, mate. How are you?
Really well, thank you, really well.
How rare for us to be in the same place at the same time. And normally we're talking down the line on springtime, aren't we?
We are indeed. Yeah, no, it's lovely to see you. And what an amazing event this is. It's absolutely beautiful, isn't it?
And no surprise to find you here in the tent of the Rare Breeds Survival Trust. I mean, you have championed rare breeds your entire life.
I have, really, yeah. My dad was founder chairman of the Rare Breeds Survival Trust, started in 1973. Yeah. And before it got going, a number of our British breeds were lost to extinction. The Lincolnshire curly-coated pig, lost forever. The sheeted Somerset cattle, lost forever. And he felt that they needed to be looked after because they're part of our living heritage. They're sort of antiques on 4 legs, if you like. But most importantly, because they had a genetic resource for the future. You know, these animals have traits that we might want in modern-day farming.
When you grew up, were you aware this was a mantle you would take on?
It was something that, ever since I was a little boy pulling on my little wellies, chasing him out the door, I wanted to do. Me and my 3 sisters would work with him on the farm, and he talked to us like adults. It wasn't lammy-whammy, it was go and feed that lamb. But we loved it.
Well, we love seeing your exploits down there in the Cotswolds. Of course, everybody can come and get amongst it all, but they can here too, and that's what's lovely about the tent here.
Yeah, indeed. We've got the Irish Moyle cattle over there. They're a very rare breed. Only about 450 cows left in the world. We've got Bagot goats, Golden Guernsey goats, and the North Ronaldsay are very close to my heart because when my dad was working with the Rare Breed Survival Trust, all of the North Ronaldsay sheep were on the Orkney Islands, and they were in risk of being wiped out if there was an oil leak or a disease or whatever. So the Rare Breeds Farmer Trust bought a little island, and I went up with him as an 8-year-old, and we put them onto another island and then brought loads home to our farm in the Cotswolds, and now they're spread all over the British Isles. And because, you know, if a disease breaks out in a region, hopefully there's some that will be safe.
We've got some lovely footage of them, and there they are, enjoying themselves on the beach.
The sheep live on the seashore, and they wade into the sea and graze kelp seaweed. It's extraordinary.
It's lovely to see them in their natural environment. Great that they're across the country, but nice to see them on an island. Mate, it's always a pleasure to see you here. We could talk for hours, but you've got things to do, I've got things to do, and keep up the good work.
Thanks, Jules. All
Cheers,
the best.
mate.
Bye-bye.
Now, earlier on today, we met Colin and Paul, two championship Saanen goat breeders who are going head-to-head against each other. I'm delighted to say they join me here now. Colin, Paul, and who are these, remind me? Maya and...
This is Maya.
Persona. Yes, well, they're the stars, really, aren't they?
Yes.
So, big competition.
Yes.
The $10 million question, how did you do, both of you?
Well, a bit of a problem.
What's that?
Persona.
We're on to show Persona.
You couldn't show Persona?
No.
Why is that?
She's had an infection which has affected her udder.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You must be so disappointed on your last show.
Gutted.
Gutted?
Yeah,
oh,
gutted,
no.
yeah.
So how did you do, then? Did you still show?
I still showed. So I actually beat him because he didn't show.
Yeah.
So I came 5th in my class. It was a rather large class, so I was quite pleased with that.
Now, listen, if Persona had been in it, I mean, Maya...
Wouldn't have stood a chance.
Wouldn't have stood a chance. That's what the rivalry is still there, isn't it, on any given day?
Yeah.
Now, I have to say, of course, as we said earlier, this is going to be the last time that you show the goats a competition. You're giving up. You must be feeling a little bit sad today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, really.
Mixed emotions.
And what does the Great Yorkshire Show mean to both of you?
It's a huge family, isn't it? The goat world is a real huge family.
Some of these people have become really firm friends over the years.
We've known them for 30 years, some of these people, 40 years, some of these
And in the end, farming wins, doesn't it? Every time you're here, those of us who don't know much about it, we get inspired by seeing what you do and how hard it is, actually.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations on everything you've achieved and good luck with your travels and good health to all 4 of you.
Thank you
very much.
Well, from goats to Shire horses and two of my greatest mates, Rob and Dave from Kenil Farm.
Thanks, Stuart.
Oh, lads, it's great to see you. As you know, I've been away on holiday, but what a place to come home to the Great Yorkshire Show and see you two here. And it's lovely to see Rosie and Orchid here. I think the last time I saw her, she was probably a foot shorter. But she did not have the easiest entry into the world. Let's just remind ourselves of how life began for Rosie.
Rosie was born with a neurological condition called dummy foal syndrome, which can be life-threatening. But thanks to the swift actions of Rob and Dave and the staff at the Specialist Equine Hospital, she pulled through with flying colours.
When you consider the start she had, Dave, you must be absolutely thrilled to see them both here today.
Oh, to get her back on the farm, it was just superb. You know, she was skipping around that field. It just made your heart sing.
Now, you haven't just brought them here for my benefit and the crowd's benefit, have you? You brought them here to show, Rob. Should we have a look at how you got on?
Feeling a little bit nervous. I'm hoping the foal trots nicely. Anything can happen.
That's Rosie's badge of honour. It's the shaving from when she was in hospital, so I'm really proud of her. We're almost ready, but I've spotted a detail.
You're making it muckier. Get up.
And our first class of the day is the fully culpable gelding classic yearlings.
David's heart will be beating fast now. They're about to be asked to trot. Trotting quite nicely, actually. Bit of a canter, but not bad at all. I'm pleased with that. Dave thinks by sweet-talking judge he's going to get put in first place. I'm not sure he will. The judges have made the decision. We've got second place, and I'm not unhappy with that. I think that's fair.
So, a second out of
2.
I think, though, Jules, Rosie, it was nip and tuck whether she managed to get first place. She did really well. David trotted like My Little Pony. He was brilliant. Rosie really gelled with him. I think there's a future for these two together in the ring.
That is
Great
the
to be
joy
here.
of coming to the Great Yorkshire Show, lads. Always a pleasure to see you. Well done. I will see you a little bit later on, I am sure. Probably in the beer tent. Nice bit of horse muck on your shirt there, mate. But coming up after the break, I go head-to-head with Yorkshire vet Julian Norton in our annual challenge here at the Great Yorkshire Show, one which on this occasion is sure to get both of us pretty hot under the collar. Join us in a few minutes' time for more from today at the Great Yorkshire Show.
Hello and welcome back to Today at the Great Yorkshire Show. And we're here in the blacksmith area now, where I'm delighted to be joined by Annabelle Bradley, who's been chief steward here for the raw tying competition for the last, 12 years?
12 years, I
feel like I should curtsy. You're like royalty round here, I'm pretty sure. Now, what I think is brilliant about you, because I know this, and I think our viewers will really find this funny, is why, Annabelle, you chose to become a blacksmith in the first place.
Near our house, there was a blacksmith building that was up for lease, and I wanted the building for a business of some nature. And so to take it on, I had to become the village blacksmith.
So there was no other reason, you just wanted the house?
I just wanted the building to be able to work from there. So basically, the first time I picked up a blacksmithing hammer was when I took on the lease and went in and started
Oh,
working
that's
from
incredible.
there.
So you're completely self-taught, essentially?
Yes, I've kind of shared experiences with other blacksmiths, and you've worked together a lot with different people. It's quite a collaborative community.
Now, I bet loads of people think all you do is make horseshoes.
Yeah, it's two separate professions. So farriers make the horseshoes, and blacksmiths, we're working with different things for home and garden. So we're doing more artistic pieces, so functional and artistic pieces.
Yeah, so it's beautiful things, and we are surrounded by some of your beautiful handiwork here, aren't we?
There's lots of different blacksmiths that have contributed to pieces in here, so we've got a big variety of items.
Now, this huge thing, what's this for?
So this is going to be a railing that's going onto a wall from a house that used to be a blacksmith shop, but that's been converted into a house. So that's telling the story of the blacksmith's last days in the forge.
Absolutely beautiful and so intricate in places.
It is, yes.
Now, I can't afford that one, I bet. Is it worth thousands?
It is.
OK. What's more in my price range here?
So then we have a bird bath here. Yeah. So we've got copper repoussé work on there, as well as forged iron work on there.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank
and you've got
you.
loads of little bits.
We do, yes. Lots of small things, so going from key rings, pokers, hooks, things like that, companion sets, so we've got kind of full sets for the fire and
I
things.
can see why you're chief steward. You know it all. You're one talented woman.
Thank you.
And now, don't go anywhere, because you know we love a challenge here. Earlier on today, we saw Emmerdale's Dominic Brunt trying his hand at sheepdog handling. And now it's the turn of our very own Jules Hudson and Yorkshire vet Julian Norton to give it their all at something brand new in the third annual round of what we like to call Jules versus Julian. Come on in, gentlemen. Top billing here, gentlemen.
We
Don't let us down. Don't
love
let
a
us down.
challenge.
Now, listen, this is a tie-break, isn't it? Not a joking matter. Let's go through your greatest hits so far.
Yes.
Right, so year one, it was that terrifying 80-foot pole.
Ah, we can't forget that.
That was a long way up, and we were looking at the poles, weren't we, earlier on, and
relishing not being on them.
Big. And they were at the top, they were wobbling as well. It was pretty scary.
You froze.
I hate heights, and halfway up, I think I was in the lead, and then I made the mistake of looking down, and I froze, and you overtook me, and brilliantly won.
You were the winner.
By quite a long way, and I don't think Jules has forgotten that.
He reminds you of it all the time.
Yeah, but then we go to last year, and you had the 4x4 challenge, and everyone's fortunes changed then, Jules.
Didn't it just? But, you know, it wasn't without its risks. I mean, it was a sort of slow roller coaster, but my goodness me, there was every chance of wrecking a very expensive vehicle. But it was good fun, wasn't it?
It was great, and things could certainly have gone wrong, but I think we got away with it. You picked me at that.
We evened the scores, yeah.
Well, there's a lot riding on this one, isn't there? Annabelle, you set them a challenge in the forge. Let's take a look.
Hi, Joss. Well, today, your challenge for this year's Great Yorkshire Show, we're going to be making fire rakes. So a useful tool for using on the forge. Couple
They're
of examples
beautiful, aren't
there.
they? I love that
You
one.
can do something really simple, or you can create a little bit more detail in there. So the techniques we're looking at, we're flattening out here to create the paddle shape. And what we're looking for is it to be the handle to be 90 degrees from the paddle. So we're going to set you a timer for this. I'll keep coming and checking, making sure it's going right. Make sure you don't burn the steel in the fire. We don't want any burns.
Right.
You've got wire brushes on the front. Keep your work clean, keep your anvil clean. And you've got 1 hour starting now.
Ready, steady,
go.
Forward. Right, let's do it.
This is not going to be easy.
The rod's not hot enough.
Wow, that is hot.
Use your rake, keep building your fire up.
I've not made it yet. Hooray.
I think this is the hardest bit, creating the taper.
Boiling is
Stop
the
being
hottest day
frightened
of
of
the
it,
year.
get closer.
And I'm standing next
Get
to
your
a
shoulder
furnace
over
that's
where your
running
hammer is.
1400 degrees.
Perfect. This won't take long at all.
We're going to have lost about a stone by the end of this.
It's a lovely
But that's all good, mate. It's a win-win. we get a nice fire rake out of it, and we're lighter.
For these wrought iron rookies, the competition's already getting serious.
I tell you what, it's harder than it looks.
Angle your hammer. The more you angle your hammer, the
All right. There's a place for a red hot poker, mate.
But Annabelle's two apprentices aren't forging ahead as quickly as they should be.
So you're half an hour through, and we've not finished the handle yet. So you're getting behind.
I'm getting behind. I need some help.
We're nearly on to the point of starting to scroll for doing the handle. And that's where it could go a little bit misshapen a bit more, you know. So we're only making...
What's wrong?
We're only making a little loop on this one rather than a big handle.
Not a massive loop.
Not a massive one, no.
How's it going, Jules? Have we got the hook on the end organised?
Mate, I'm there. What do you think?
Better than mine.
Tell you what, mate, it's a lovely buttermilk.
Okay, make use of these last heats because you've got 5 minutes left.
I am literally making this up. This might totally ruin it. Oops.
That's
I'm
it.
done. And Jules is still going. Are we in for time, Annabelle?
I think we've got about 1 minute left. I think you need to get wire
Jules,
brushing.
I'm already plated up over here.
Oh, Norton's winning. Look at him. Look at him, the master craftsman, the surgeon.
Okay, down tools, lads, that's time.
Are you all right, Jules? You look a bit sweaty.
Oh, mate, what a good thing to do. I really enjoyed that. But only Annabelle knows who's won.
Are you confident, Jules? You're trying to bend it with your
trying to straighten it.
Well, that looked like sweaty work to me. What was it like?
It was great. I loved it. It was really therapeutic. It's sort of relaxing, hard work, but relaxing. But the best thing for me was, and you'll see by the precision of the things that we've made, make even a minor mistake, you can reheat it and alter it.
Annabelle laughed when you said precision. I'm just going to point that out.
In fairness, and we said this as we were doing it, it was the most enjoyable challenge we have done. We could have been in there all day long. We absolutely loved it. No wonder you became a blacksmith, Annabelle.
That is absolutely wonderful to hear, actually. So I've had a lovely time, but really it's a competition. Who has won? Now, there's a crowd here. Everyone's got their favourite.
They are really close to call. The paddles that you did on the bottom, they're both really widespread. They're fantastic. And you tested them, they worked really well. And it's come down to the final grip on the handle, as to the comfort in the handle when you're using it. And at one point when you were doing the handle, it went slightly the wrong way, didn't it?
Did actually.
So we've ended up with kind of sharp bits at where you hold.
Oh, no.
So that, unfortunately,
Does this mean?
knocks it down. So there you go.
Right, what can I say? What can I say?
2-1. That's 2 years in a row now. You've won back-to-back. Well done, both of you. Great, great challenge.
Great.
Thank you so much, Annabelle. Absolutely lovely. And sadly, that is all we've got time for tonight. But what an incredible first day we've had. And good news for all of you is that we will be back again at the same time tomorrow, won't we, to do it all over again?
We absolutely will, right after our Great Yorkshire Live at 7 p.m. So join us then when Yorkshire vet Peter Wright will be finding out what it takes to become a country show cattle judge. And we're going to meet the man who lives in what must surely be one of the most familiar farms in the north.
And there's another epic challenge in store for you, Jules. It never stops here. You might want to get some practice in for this one, though, because you're going to need this.
Oh, no.
I think we all know what it is now. That's it from us. Good night.
Oh, heck. Good night.
Come on, Jules, you can do it. We're back in Harrogate tomorrow night at 8. And the guys mentioned Our Great Yorkshire Life. Find out if the small market town of Moulton can make it big in foodie circles tomorrow at 7. Next, an injured biker is rushed into hospital and his blood pressure does not look good. New 999 critical condition in just a moment.